Hey everyone, this is Will from Productions², and hopefully this is recording. I think it is. Here tonight to start recording for our 10th developers log for Space Crusade, Common Insurrection. I may not do that long of a thing tonight because it's just crazy bloody hot in this room right now. My AC has decided to kick the can, and it's about, I don't know, I'm gonna go with around 90 degrees in here. Let me see, I got a thermometer over here. Not too far off. It's about 85 degrees. The main way I was keeping this room kind of cooled down was by using my I have like a filtrated fan thing that I can use sometimes. Usually use it to bring cooler air from outside of this room into it. I have that turned off now so I can record. Didn't really help too much, really, to be honest. It just helped cool me down, not really the room, because the temperature outside this room is about the same as inside. Well, okay, a couple degrees less, about 82 degrees, but not enough to make any difference. It's usually like 80, 78, maybe 77 sometimes, or lower. While this room's usually, where it is now, are higher 80s. But we'll see how much I can get done before I totally lose it from heat delirium or something, or some such. So, I was just looking at some of the maps I was working on during the last update thing, and just trying to figure out where to start at. I'm starting kind of late on mapping. I'm hoping to get a lot done anyway, even though I'm starting pretty much 2 weeks and a couple of days before the update is going to be happening. The reason I'm starting late is because I had a lot of stuff going on in other projects and such. The release of the build 5 for Space Crusade 0.5, last build for that. Getting sick in, what was that? I guess it was May? No, this is May, so it must have been April. That shot out a week, actually 2 weeks, of development time for everything. But mainly for Space Crusade, because that's what I was focusing on at the time to get build 5 done. And then having to deal with trying to keep up with stuff for YouTube walkthroughs, and it's just been a huge chaotic mess, really. And it's just really kicked Common Insurrection to the back burner till now. So what I'm looking at here is these. I mentioned on the previous. I actually opened up because I was going to look at the. There, just look at the images that I uploaded beforehand to look at this. I mentioned the lighting was kind of wonky. I guess it's because I needed to deal with the light texture because it was too bright of a light, I guess. There's also some other issues with it. That needed to be addressed. One of them was how to work this out. Every time I've ever tried to kind of make something that would follow along on a curved section of wall or what have you, the end result's been less than stellar because I've not figured out yet, after I don't know how many years of using Hammer, how to properly take something like this and orient it so that we can have it connect properly with something on the other side. For example, what would happen here is we'd have something coming to here, then we'd align it to this. At the same time, though, you want to bring something down from here. And the problem is it's trying to get lined up on the same line. I mean, you could just take it down past here and then cut it, but the edges here won't line up with the one that's here because it'll go past it and over, and things will be off. And in most cases, you're not going to be able to adjust it because the endpoints are not going to be on the grid anywhere. It's just a really annoying thing that I haven't figured out how to deal with yet. So, if anybody knows how to deal with that kind of stuff, feel free to enlighten me on the comments on the ModDB page or comments on these videos. because that would be something that would really help out as far as trying to get that done. What I'm planning on doing though is until that happens, or if it doesn't happen, if nobody has any way of dealing with that, although I suspect there is a way of dealing with it, I'm just going to take these and kind of what I did with the original directory thing I had going on the 8th deck, the deck that you start out on, was just to kind of drop these into the walls, just kind of, if you want to say, fade out this protrusion into the wall, ahead of hitting the edge here. One of the other things that, two other things I need to work out was how to get these intersections here done, and also the outer sections for these kind of things here. Those should be fairly non-problematic, though. We just got to get the right brushwork into place. One of the major problems, though, was that there's not really anything in these rooms. So we need to. I want to change that. For this update, I want to start filling in these rooms a little bit. So what we're going to do now today is we're going to do a couple things with that. Towards that end, we're going to work on getting this stuff done and filling in these rooms, as well as maybe working on some other decks. But I'll probably only work on deck 5 here. So let's start over here, because I had an interesting idea that I could try here. Of course, now, well, it's the same issue where you have the protrusions fitting on there, so that's not going to work unless we do like we did on deck 9, where we just fade these into the wall, and this light strip would be part of the wall itself. It wouldn't have to try and bring it out and line everything up. I think we'll just keep it like this, though. Keep it sort of similar to other decks, but different at the same time. So let's go ahead and focus on this stuff for now. So what we'll need is we'll need to have a section that will only, well, really what we need is a middle section that will go only so far to connect these two sections, and then a larger, flatter section for the top and bottom parts. Again, it shouldn't be too hard to do that. It's just a matter of getting the right sizes. So we'll have to size it based on this direction and also this direction. So what we'll do is first we need to grab a texture, this Dev Orange, and then we need to go to creation mode. And we'll just do this there. We'll come over here, bring this down, and this needs to be, I guess, up to here. So about right there would probably be good, I think. And that would just texture as oh wait, that's right, there's some glass over the top of it. There we go. We just textured as an. Actually, if you think about that, actually no, I think that is accounted for already. So then what we would do is we would just take these two, ignore grouping, take these two here, and just bring them out, like so. Actually, we'd bring them out and then do a clip thing, or better yet, we'll just do it with the vertex editor. I found that this is much quicker than using the clipping tool to do the same thing. Really, we could do the same with this too, if you think about it. And really, we could do the same with the light texture too. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. Must be the heat. So let's get rid of that entirely. Then just bring this up. Of course, we'll need to, if we have to ever edit these, we'll have to do it with the vertex editor now because we have these changes. So yeah, we just do that and that meets it all together very nicely. Now I'm going to do the bottom section as well. We don't have to add another block in there to make Vivas freak out. It's all very optimized. And we could probably do the same thing down here now. Again, now we'd have to do everything with the vertex editor, because that edge over there is not going to be conducive to moving with the handles here now, because it'll pull everything out of place. So let's come down here, highlight all those, drag them down. Do the same with this. So now, to figure out how to exactly accomplish it. So I guess we would just go this way. Okay, that one we kind of screwed up on. We only need to bring it to here, I think. Not all the way down. Now the back sections here we would have to bring all the way down though, to make sure it's solid, if you will. It's probably not the right terminology, but to make sure it's you know, closing off, so you don't have any kind of weird light being cast through there. See, I think that works out pretty well, actually. No need for extra stuff in there. Although when you do that, there are times when you can kind of see the, like here, if you're like really close to it. I don't know if it's only in Hammer or what, but you can kind of sometimes see the breaks in it. Anyway, so that's what we need to do with all that. So let's go around to all the places here that have kind of architecture and do our thing. That's the annoying part, is trying to get around things that are blocking in other parts. Like that, for example. Well, at least my computer's not overheating. I actually have pretty much all the facade pieces taken off, so I got the radiator and the front case fans all opened up to the just about to the room. Gonna be getting some compressed air to blast out the dust in it, because I was getting some crazy temperatures the other day. I was dealing with Windows being itself. I don't know what was going on with it. It was there was some sort of update that was going on, and the update itself caused my Windows install to fail the boot. It kept on giving me service errors, and then Windows would say, "Okay, we're just gonna roll back that last install," and things started working again. But I noticed while that was happening that getting some crazy wicked high temps. I actually had my computer crash due to a temperature cutoff, because my processor was getting up crazy high. Okay, what's going on? There's still something here that's kind of I mean, that's from before. Let's see. Before we, because what happens with the vertex editors, before you click on something else, I think, or come back out to the selection mode or some other mode out of vertex edit, the changes aren't reflected in 3D view here. Alright, so that seems to be in order. Do the same thing over on this one. Nothing else. Mapping is an exercise in patience. So it takes so long to do some of this stuff, depending on how complicated the map is. And how quick you are making changes, I should say. And there's some people that can just whip up crazy maps, maybe not quickly, but faster than I can. And there's some people that are slower than I am. One thing I'm hoping that switching to this whole kind of modular-based mapping for these decks is going to help out with is the speed. Because the layout can be achieved really quickly by just using all these pre-created sections that you then put together to form different types of areas, with a little bit of variation, obviously. But like all these hallways that you see that have the rounded pieces, I use these same rounded walls on all the other decks. It's just all, everything's just copied from one deck to another. Yes, here's an example of what I'm talking about. Then when you move off of it, it changes. So I think that's everything there. And we got some stuff over here to do as well. Or no, not there. Where was it? In here. Yeah. That's where a lot of the stuff is at. This one here, first of all. Now, since this one's already kind of angled, well, is it angled or not? Let's see. I mean, stuff like straight walls, that's easy to deal with. But when you got rounded walls, and it's just getting everything done right, it's just so annoying. I've never been able to do it correctly. So I just ended up in being something either not matching properly or invalid invalid objects. So it's straight, so we can just take this and move everything at once. Again, went a little too far on that one. Only have to come out to here with it. Okay, then we gotta do the intersections here. Again, not really too hard. Just gotta get in there and grab the handles. So that's pretty quick. Of course, now this one's gonna be a bit longer because we have to do everything from the vertex editor. Let's see. I may have to go back on one of the first ones that I did and fix that. I think I went over all the way across with both of those on the, maybe not. Maybe I didn't do that. Maybe I already fixed it. It's kind of an oversight though. So it's just so much faster than dealing with the cutting tool. So what I used to do is just use the cutting tool essentially like this. You go through, grab it, put it in a specific angle, and cut. You can achieve the same thing with that and much less time by using the vertex editor to just drop those parts back. And I didn't put it back here because I didn't know how we were going to properly hook up this and this section here. Of course, you can also see that we have some wall width issues as well. That might be by design, though. See, I think that I didn't want to go with these because they'd be too sharp, if you will. So we just take these edges and fade them out. Fade them into the wall. So over on this one now, same process as over there. So we can do this with them. So not being done anywhere else. I'm not going to record my entire mapping session tonight. I'm planning to map for another hour here. Oh, damn. Did it again. Gotta keep remembering not to do that. I blame it on the heat. This room will get bloody hot. I think I mentioned it a couple times, but if I just turn off the AC and let my computer run just idle, this room gets up to around 80 degrees, 85 degrees. If I let it run, the computer run, you know, under load, like say rendering out footage, Sony Vegas, this room will get up to 90, 95, even 100 easy during the summer. It's just insane. This computer is not a computer, it's a heater. Say $2,300 heater. Actually, probably a bit more because I have that second card in there now, video card. So $2,700 heater. As you can see, I have the option to hit enter to select the points that you put through around in the selection tool. I have that disabled, so you don't have to. I don't have to do that now. So it actually saves a lot of time because instead of having to do that, then have it sit there and hit enter, and then sometimes not being able to do stuff with other things because there might be a selection selection area still in one of these other windows. It just automatically selects whatever I have inside of the boundaries. Really speed things up. So it gets rid of that extra operation you have to do. Alright, so I think that's all this stuff too. Let's see, I don't think there was any more. I think that was the last one we had to worry about for now. So we got all that done. Now let's start filling in these rooms a bit. So this first area here, if I remember correctly, is going to be a security area. Let me go find my magical notebook that has all this stuff written down in it. Where's my... there it is. Flashlight. Let's see. This is it. that's not it. Maybe it is this one then. What is, I don't know where the hell I have that section at. Here we go. It is this one. So, what I did before, I think I mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again in case some of you didn't watch the 8th Developers Vlog. Before I went through and started working on the mothership decks, I actually went through and I sketched out what all the decks would look like beforehand, so I'd have some sort of kind of point of reference to work from, make things a little bit quicker. Alright, so here we are. So yeah, the first one is this first area that we're in right now is a security place. Now the other one is a security place as well, but it also is a white matter weapon testing area. So how this works is that each of these security areas deactivates a force field that we'll put in. I think we'll put some of them in right now. That kind of blocks the path forward, and what happens is that kind of allows for I think some of these soda cans are getting cooked. Maybe I'm hearing one of the hard drives, I don't know. I guess I could be hearing the drive that I'm writing to, clicking away. Or really not clicking away, but writing away, the head moving back and forth. But what I have here is that there's certain sections that are blocked off by force fields, kind of a area movement control that kind of, you know, lengthens out the time that you're going to be spending on each deck. And in order to continue on some of these, you have to be able to, you know, go in there and deactivate these force fields. Well, all these R areas, security checkpoint areas, are where you'll be able to do so. So this first place is going to be such a place. And let's see, let's get this. So what will happen is we'll have a force field right here. There'll also be 4 force fields down here. We'll have 2 here going this way, and then another 2 going into this area. And here will be the force field deactivator thing to deactivate the last force field to go to the next deck. Or rather, I guess, yeah, to deck 4. Actually, no, that would be to the... Huh. Well, if I'm looking at this correctly... Okay, no, okay, that's what it is. So, I'm looking at these things. The way I have deck 6 situated, I was thinking maybe that should have been 5 instead, but what happens is that in deck 6, you enter into this huge room at the end of it where the elevator to the next deck is at. And that's supposed to kind of be crap, what's the term? I can't think of it right now. It'll come to me. I was thinking of a movie term for exposition. That's what it is. Movie term for exposition now. Exposition kind of thing where when you get to deck 4, or rather what is supposed to be the traveling from deck 4 to deck 3 or 2? Deck 2. you'll think back to that deck and think, oh, so that's what this huge thing I was in was for. So it essentially is the bottom section of it or something that you're in. But yeah, once you that'll be the place where you deactivate the last force field to go to the elevator that'll take you up to deck from deck 5 to deck 2, bypassing decks 3 and 4. So what we need to do now is we need to make this look like a security area. To do that, we're going to need terminals, obviously. We're going to need some sort of like a, if you remember back in the first map of Half-Life 2, they had that kind of walkway restriction thing they had to go through. Something like that, so that if they have to bring somebody into here, that they bring them through that, and then also some sort of detention areas as well. Because this is a pretty large area for just a basic kind of one terminal here, terminal there, and some security guards. That'd be more like what you do for a really smaller room. We want this one to have some more depth to it. So what we're going to do is, I may have to alter the way these lights work. Because I may have to put in some extra walls. But we'll deal with that when the time comes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to figure out how we're going to situate this out. So I think what we'll do is put a couple terminals over here. We'll put some holding cells back here, and through here, down this way, back up, and then down into here, we'll have a kind of a walkway system where you're kind of forced to travel that. With like maybe a couple scanners here or something set up that indicates that's kind of scanning you for what you have, looking for contraband or whatnot, or weapons or whatever. So let's start with the terminals. Those will be prop statics, I believe. Well, that's interesting. How come it's not up? There you go. Let's see. File, edit properties. No, we want the options. Materials, build, programs, game config. Model browser, Well, it doesn't help in the slightest. Well, I pretty much reached my limit as far as being able to stand this heat. I think it's up to 90 now. Oh yeah. 92. So I'm going to have to turn this fan back on. And it's going to wreak havoc on the commentary, which is really all there is at this point in time for... unless you just want to watch stuff happen in Hammer. But so I'm going to go ahead and stop recording for now. I'll record some more later on. I don't know when, probably sometime next week, or maybe next weekend, once the AC gets fixed, obviously. But I'm not gonna sign off on this like I normally do. I'm just gonna leave it open-ended, and we'll just tack on whatever recording I do after this onto this in Sony Vegas, so it'll all appear to be the same recording session. So, till I start recording again, this is GOL, and I will see you next time. Hey everyone, this is GOL from Productions², and we're here today to do the recording for the 11th developers vlog for Combine, or 10th developers vlog for Combine Insurrection. This is going to be really short and simple because I had thought I was recording earlier, but I forgot that I had Fraps open because I've been recording Legend of Dragoon and Xenosaga for the YouTube walkthroughs. And I forgot that if you have both of them up at the same time, Playclaw and Fraps, Playclaw doesn't record the desktop for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. Even if Fraps is not hooking into the is not monitoring the desktop window manager, it still will, you know, cause Fraps to or not Fraps, but cause Playclaw to throw a fit. It's one of the ways in which Playclaw does not record the desktop. There's another set of circumstances that will cause it to not hook either, but this wasn't one of them. So I was actually recording, I think, probably a good 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and I hadn't realized it wasn't recording. So we're just going to go over kind of what's been what was done. The reason I have this open for is because I'm actually taking some of the themed pieces like this, for example, and trying to recreate them in a similar but also different way in one of the other maps, Deck 7. At least for the moment I'm working on Deck 7, and that's where this is happening at. I'm also going to do something similar to this, but not exactly the same. It's not going to be like ripping just ripping this out of here and retexturing it or something. It's going to be similar but different. It's going to be reminiscent of this, but it's not going to be the exact same. It's just meant to remind you that you're in an area that's controlled by the Combine. As if you didn't need any more help, you know, with that, because they'll have Combine soldiers trying to shoot laser beams up your buttocks, but that's another story. So I took took one of these pylons from in here and copied it over into the map I was working on, and that's obviously not it. And changed it a bit too. And what I also did is I went through and did a little bit of the last minute vertex editing I had to do, and then also did a cut on this piece up here, the top here. This actually took me much longer than it should have to finish, to recreate, or rather shrink down and make it work for this the size of this area, because what happened was I imported the whole thing over, copy pasted it over, and deleted the things that used to come off of here, the kind of rails that I hooked the lights onto in the other map. Got rid of those and redid the vertex positioning for all this stuff here by hand. For all of this stuff here, and then I proceeded like an idiot to shrink it down because I wanted to make it smaller. Well, that just kicked everything back off the grid again, so I had to go back through and realign all the vertex points. And I was just doing the last bit of that when I was recording earlier, or thought I was recording earlier. So that took me yesterday and a good portion of the day to do. And so that's really kind of slowed me down on mapping. Then I went through and divvied up these up and this up into different portions here, depending on how I needed to use them. Like if it was a corner or just like one of these pieces, or this. And then I started to retexture this one just to see how it would look. And then I filled in, did these pieces here, and then filled in the space. So, as you can see, it looks a lot like this, the structure from architecture from the other map, but it's also slightly different. You've got the larger sections here, the stop signs I call them, added the little bits here. These are also slightly different. Not only how they look now, but how they look each individual one looked before I had done all this stuff with them. So I tried to recreate how they looked over in the other map, but also a little bit different. Added them back over in here, and then put all this stuff in as well. I'll probably have to delete some of it though, because I think it's a little bit too much stuff. All I really have this month is going to be mapping. I was going to do some code. I was going to update the source code for SDK 2013, but ran out of time to do so. That's really all there is. Like I said, it's going to be a really short video. Maybe I'll show you some of the other stuff I've been working on. So the main theme this month and a half I've been working on this mapping, it has been to kind of flesh out the rooms now. So we have these kind of wide open rooms, and one of the largest complaints I get when I show the maps off that I've been working on is that, oh, there's too much empty space. It seems like every time there's somebody that comes in and says empty space, and whatever. So what I'm trying to do now is try to kind of go through and do each individual room and kind of just fill it out. And by doing that, it is going to slow down the mapping time, because we'll have to focus a lot of resources into each individual room, as opposed to building everything kind of in a layered process. But it'll be more visible progress for you to see every couple of months here. I have added in these gates on this floor, as well as on decks 6 and 5, I believe. Or at least started to on 6, but have added them in on 5 as well. I also added a little extra bit here on this part here. This wasn't there before. Put that there because we have two different fields, shield gates here. And there was not going to be an extra terminal in order to deactivate this one. So I had to create this room over here to act and as a thing for that. So that'll have a terminal or something over here that will either deactivate that one specifically, or it'll deactivate the gate that'll be here, and we'll have another terminal in here that'll deactivate this one. These gates are kind of acting as a flow control, if you will. They're forcing you to go through the map and search for things in order to progress through the map. So they're adding length to each map, where it would just be, kill everything in between you and the other point in the map, the exit point in the map, which is pretty boring and would be pretty quick. So by putting in these obstacles for you to overcome, means that you have to spend more time and actually do the exploration for this stuff. I'm also thinking about putting another section here that goes around this way, maybe one that goes in here, and then this one up here would have some other rooms on it too, and maybe this one would have more rooms too as well. Just to kind of flesh the map out a bit more, maybe one that goes around down here like that. The other map that's had a lot of work on it's been 5. I've really fleshed out the one room, the first security checkpoint, as you'll see here. It's really been pretty well remade, or not remade, but redone, if you will, changed. So if you remember from the last update, and you can pause it and go look at the original screenshots. This used to just be an empty room, and I've got it pretty much decked out to be a security place. Got another one of these shield grids here. This is one I just made myself by hand without using the prefab. I'll probably go back in and use the prefab though, because there's a lot of other crap with the prefab that I don't want to have to recreate by hand. So we got the shield or weapon scanners. What I found interesting about this is, does it do it in here? No, but in game, if you're enough distance away from these things, they'll actually start kind of flickering now. The weapon strippers. they'll kind of flicker between being able to see through certain parts and not being able to. I'm not sure what's going on with those. But we come down around here, and I've also retooled the lighting so it's a little bit better. This wall section actually will shrink down to converge like this. It's not the not the same thickness all the way through. Then we've got our basic checkpoint kind of area. We've got some holding cells back here. These screens that you see here will have things on them. We'll actually have cameras connected to them, so you'll be able to see different areas in the floor. This is going to be one of the terminal. This will be the terminal to deactivate this gate over here. And I got some places for weapon and ammo over here. Weapons and ammo here. Just some kind of security-esque looking things here in the middle to fill the room up a bit. And then we'll also have some shield things here, as well as like a bed platform there in each of these. That's really the only work I've done on this map, is just on this one room. And this is probably representative of about, I'd say around 12 to 18 hours of work here in total. Between getting the stuff created and also editing the lighting so that it works more properly. Doesn't kind of overblow everything. So yeah, things are moving along. Maybe not as quick as I'd like, but they're moving along. I also did some work on the 6th deck as well. Not as much though, but I started to. One thing I did was I added in some extra lighting stuff here. This is kind of a pylon thing in the middle here. Again, reminiscent of how this is done, but just a plain circular structure. Just to add a little more lighting. Added this down here to turn off this shield wall, and also we added in some more. Added another thing to make it look like a training center, which is what this is. This is the shooting range, if you will. And I just stuck this thing on the wall because I thought it'd be really interesting to do this one of these things on the wall here. Because that's, you know, it's like, what the hell? Why can't we just do that? Let's put it on there and see what it looks like. I haven't actually rendered the map and loaded it up to see what it looks like yet, but it should be rather interesting, I think, to see what effect it has on lighting. Again, just kind of basic glass mannequins I made for targets. I actually based it off of the info player start model that you see here. It's kind of based the blocking off of it, size of various parts, arms and legs and whatnot, the head. I also, I'm not sure, I think I did something else. Oh, that's right, I started texturing, that's what I was doing. Started texturing some of this other stuff, but I didn't get too far on that really. I don't know if I did anything else or not. I probably had more rooms added as well. It's a pretty small map as it is. We'll probably add some more gates, shield gates here that you have to go in other places that'll be in here and over here to deactivate them. That is it though. That's all I've really gotten done so far during this development cycle. Mapping for me is a slow process because it just takes a while for ideas to percolate and come to fruition in a way that would work for whatever map I'm trying to make things for. Like this map here, I have no clue what I'm going to do with all this other space here. It's just, and there's so much space to fill, and only so many things I can think of at this point in time to fill them up with. I added this space. This entire space is new. It didn't exist before. So it's actually an addition onto what was here originally. I thought it would look cool though too if you put this kind of window thing here. Because you would think that you'd have like instructors or commanders or whoever trains the Combine sitting out here watching them in the shooting range, and if they, you know, are doing really crappy, they come in here and whip them or something, I don't know. But it sounded to look cool too aesthetically. There's not too many shooting ranges where you can actually look into the range itself from, you know, the back of it. So obviously this would be bulletproof glass. Of course, I think all Combine glass is bulletproof glass. I mean, not all, but all. We'll just say all the glass is just surreptitiously, or rather, just as a matter of fact, it's all bulletproof. Don't have to explain it at all. Just resists bullet impacts, even though you get the impacts when you actually shoot in it. That's it. Yeah. Not really too much to show. I will be doing more mapping though, as the next couple days, so there may be some more stuff to show off during the update, but this should be pretty much most of it. So, thanks for watching the video. Pretty short one, but rather short than unnecessarily long, and filled with unnecessary junk. Hopefully I'll be able to get things rolling a bit quicker here as far as putting in all the details. I may decide to switch back to the other way that I usually map, which is just doing things in layers instead of each individual room at a time, because I can do things faster that way, but it doesn't look as impressive. My well, the kind of staged mapping that I usually do. But until the next update, this is GOL, and I will see you later.